Hey guys and gals and everyone in between. I am back with another video because I want to talk about ADHD and being an eternal kid. I have been thinking a lot about how creativity has impacted how I cope with having ADHD. And I can honestly say, it has really like saved my life. If you guys go back and look at some of the videos that I recorded in this series of living with ADHD so far, you will find that I do talk about just how directionless I have felt and how that can kind of lead to a depression in a sense. It can lead to feelings of just feeling empty and like your life doesn't have meaning and purpose, which is something that's very big for me in 2020. I look at 2020 as the year and the decade of mastery, meaning and purpose, and stability. So I am working towards those things in a very practical sense. And one thing that I never considered would be truly important is creativity and how art has played a role in me healing some of my feelings around ADHD and some of the things that it can cause and some of the challenges that it can cause in life, and how really relinquishing control of how I think my life is supposed to look, but yet giving into how I really know my life is supposed to look has helped me immensely. So, let's just wax on for 20 minutes or so about this. Before, okay, so August is when I found out I had ADHD, and I've always been a creative and artistic person. But I will say that even though I was encouraged in my home to pursue those dreams, I've even had, family members say, like, I will invest in you. I will invest in your studio time. And I've just been gifted some more studio time this January. So I'm really, really grateful for that. This time I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to take advantage of it. And that's one of the things about just receiving that I see myself as a joyful receiver. And that's one of my visions for my life that I wrote down for 2020 and beyond. So I'm going to take that. And since I see myself as a multidisciplinary artist and music being one of those arts, it is in alignment with my vision and with my ultimate value in life, which is my ultimate value is to be love, which means you got to be doing what you love to be love, right? You got to be, and you got to be in joy in order to be love and to be an example of that life can be a fun, amazing experience. I believe that's one of my purposes in life, and that is one of my values in life. So I talked about in the last video about how I was watching Courtney Sanders, and she was saying how, well, I was listening to her podcast, Courtney L. Sanders. She was saying how a lot of your goals are never met because you do not have any core connection or values related to those goals. So now that I do, and music has always been one of those things, I find that I'm just a lot happier. And I've had waves of happiness and waves of sadness come through all through last year. And I think I was very much in touch with my feelings and into my body and feeling into what that means for me. But I can say that I've been consistently happier since I know that I'm working on music, whether that be performing, whether that be scheduling a rehearsal, or whether I'm keep shaking the desk, or whether that be actually writing songs, and just the knowing that now I'm going to be able to actually record this song, lay it down, and develop it so that I can get out there into the world and share with the people, which is part of the point of why I'm here. I'm a lot happier. And that helps to deal with a lot of the anxiety that comes as a result of having ADHD and not being able to focus. Music gives me something to focus on. So I can say that I'm eternally grateful for just actually choosing to use the gift in a positive way. So, how this ties into kind of being eternally youthful, um, A lot of people with ADHD say that they don't ever feel like they grow up because a kid is kind of like that person that's always going to be drawn to, whatever is just the new shiny thing. And a lot of people with ADHD talk about how they're always drawn in different directions by new interests and things like that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that staying fresh and new and always having new interests is very important to just staying interesting. But I think that we underestimate the value and the power of play. And I can say that when I'm with my group or when I'm singing or recording or creating something, I feel like I am playing. I feel as free and joyful and as carefree as I did when I was a kid. It doesn't mean that I don't have responsibilities. It doesn't mean that I'm not aware of the fact that there are very practical things that need to be done, but I feel better equipped to deal with those things because I feel like I know that I'm putting my energy in the right place, if that makes sense. Now, I want to tie in. I don't know if you guys are familiar with human design, and I don't remember if I've brought it up on this channel yet, but if you're familiar with human design, then you know about generators, and I am a generator. I am someone who has to wait for opportunities to come to her, and in the meantime, she is just being and doing what she's good at. It doesn't mean that I can't have ideas, but it's almost like having to wait for an invitation. Let me slow down. I have to wait for an invitation in order to for something to work. And I've seen this play out. It's a very subtle thing and process, but it's like, for instance, I got a lot of opportunities in December because I decided I was just going to go to an open mic and sing. Um, when people saw me, they said, "Okay, well, we have this show. Do you want to be in this? We'll pay you to be in this." And things just, it's very slow process, but it actually, doors started opening very quickly. Why? Because for me, as a generator, I'm just generating energy, and people who are in positions to kind of put me here, put me there, pay me to do this, or put me on a platform, see that, and they give me an opportunity, and I have to feel into my body as to whether or not this is the right opportunity. So that is kind of like they just see me being me and just being. So it's kind of like, I'm just over here being fabulous. And they're like, oh, I want a piece of that. And then it's up to me to kind of negotiate, which I really pray for the right person that God sends to be able to navigate and negotiate a lot of these deals that are coming in the future, because that would just allow me to do that much more of what I enjoy, which has just been healing me from the inside out, which is to create art and to express um, my feelings and certain stories that I know resonate with people through myself, through music and through writing and things like that. I mean, I even feel more fluid in front of the camera. Like, I feel like I can just move more and be more like, like I'm always like recording myself dancing and like, getting naked and stripping and stuff on camera. Like, I'm always recording myself. I've got like an archive of a ton of those videos. But even when I'm just doing these kind of videos, which is nothing like that, I feel way like more free. And I think it's because like whatever's in me had to come out, and it's coming out in a healthy way. I think it used to come out through hypersexuality. Now, sexuality, I mean, that's just a whole nother thing, right? That could be seen as a negative thing, but I do believe being in touch with your body, being sensual, and talking about sex in a positive way is a good thing. So that's not what I mean by hypersexuality. I mean, in lieu of doing something productive, you seek out sexual satisfaction because that's the only place that you're putting your energy, and it's not within a healthy or even intentional relationship where you're going to recycle the energy and you guys are going to build something. I mean, it's just kind of like, it doesn't I mean, it feels good for the moment, but it doesn't make sense to have sex with somebody who's not investing in you, mind, body, soul, wallet, you know, everything. Like, I mean, I'm just not a person that likes to do things halfway, even though I've cheated myself over and over again, just not having these things in place and still being intimate with someone, but without veering too far off of the path of the topic of the video, which is ADHD and being an eternal kid. You see, I even have this. This was a gift from a really good friend of mine's a mother. So I guess he told her that I'm a writer. And this, I mean, I love this, like so me, like this is so cool. I love it. So I used it to write out my goals and my, vision for 2020. I've got to type all this stuff up. I've got to type all this stuff up and put it in a system that I can see that every single goal, every single project, and everything that I'm doing this year is going to go back to what I intend for myself. And setting intentions is the key. It is one of the most important things that you can do. Please do it. Just start with a list of things. Do a brain dump. Write down everything that you want to achieve. I don't care if it's 10 years from now. I don't care if it seems impossible. Just do it. You will thank yourself because you'll start to see these things happen and you'll start to see like how you're getting things that you already said you wanted and it's unfolding. But it's so much better when you can like track it. I find like I spent a lot of time last year tracking my time and tracking what I wanted to know what I was spending my time doing. I'm like, I have this great gift of lots of free time right now. And I have this great gift of, free housing and like someone investing in me and someone just saying like, hey, here is a place to stay while you get on your feet. Like, what am I doing with it? What am I doing with this opportunity that is the opportunity of a lifetime? If you hear scratching at the door, that's just the dog and I'm not getting up. So he's gonna get more aggressive. But that being said, play is very important. And for me, play is more like creativity and art. And even when you're just, I mean, you can play strategy games and it doesn't seem that creative, and those are not the games that I normally go for. I like trivia. I like, Tetris kind of like puzzle kind of games. I guess that's strategy, but not so much. It's not strategy like between you and another person, I don't think. Um, but, I like to play in terms of creating art, and I realize painting is something that also feels really good to me. Dancing feels amazing to me, and, it's really helped me to open up, be feel more connected, and just feel like I have purpose. It's really weird how creating music can add purpose and direction to your life. It's very strange. I mean, like I said, I hadn't sat down to plan anything longer than just a to-do list for the day since probably the month of August because I could not see the future. I could not see what was ahead of me. Once I started singing, so many plans for the future came to me and felt very real and felt like I could stick to them. That's another thing. I didn't even feel like I could stick to anything before. Um, I don't know, I just didn't feel possible, but now I'm like, "Okay, I'm committing to stay in this one location until the end of the calendar year at least." I have the caveat, unless an amazing, compelling opportunity comes along that just cannot be refused. That would have to mean, just full financial, support and artistic support. I mean, everything would just have to be in place, and I'm kinda thinking, the editor position that I got offered that didn't fall through, but that got postponed, there's some talks of that coming back up, um, you know, later on in the year. And that is something I would consider taking because that is just, again, a role that I feel I could step into. And it kind of hits so many things about what I love to do. And, it's kind of an opportunity that was literally made for me and created for me, so that would be something, but I wouldn't, and then it kinda goes in alignment with what I just said about being a generator because I am created to wait for the right opportunity and feel into it when it comes to me, not to go make something happen, like, just be and the opportunities will come. That's just what I'm learning, you know? That's kind of like being a kid. As a kid, what do? You just live, you know? I mean, actually, no, that's not what all kids do. Some kids are out there literally just making things happen and creating things. But when you think of the idea of a child, you think of the idea of just because they're born, they're going to be taken care of. And that's the kind of attitude that I need to have towards myself. And when I do think that way, I ironically um, get closer to a position where I'm able to take care of myself. So I won't always be where I am. And I just think it's important like to recognize that. I mean, I'm already kind of outgrowing where I am. But you have to appreciate where you are now and build and use what resources you have available to you. That's what a true alchemist does, and then build from there. And then God will bless you with more. I mean, you will bless yourself with more because you will subconsciously know that you're ready for more. Because another thing that Courtney Sanders talks about, which I really appreciate this, she says that you will sabotage any opportunity that you don't feel ready for. So it behooves you to make use of whatever you have right now so that you can feel ready and be fully equipped mentally to move on to the next stage. So that's what I'm doing. And the number one thing is time. So now that I'm doing the creative thing that I need to do, that was built to do and made to do with my time, I can be blessed with um, more money and more opportunities to fill in my time with more of the right things to do. It's about making the right choices that matter for you, man, like not anybody else. That's another thing. Like I had to dump, I had to get rid of some dead weight this year. And that I wanted this has to do with being a kid because as a kid, what do you do? Like as a kid, like, you don't think about, "Oh, I'm gonna just be friends with this person because I think I should, or because I think I have to, or because we've been friends for a long time." As a kid, you're always cycling through, different relationships, and you're not really worried about the weight of it. Like, you'll stay mad for a couple of days that this person isn't talking to you anymore, but when that person is done with you, they're just done with you, and when you're done with somebody, you're just done with somebody. I think as adults, we carry a lot of weight based on like how we think we're supposed to hold on to different relationships because of conditioning, because of obligation, because of guilt, because of fear. Oh, am I still going to have access to the resources I need that this person brought to me? Like some people don't want to leave their abusive spouses or husbands because of the resources that that person provides for them. But I'm just like, don't you have a God? Like, don't you know that like, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine having to stay in something abusive because it's paying me money or because it's providing a roof over my head. I'm just like, some things are worth more than um, even our basic necessities like comfort. So yeah, we're coming up on the 20-minute mark, and I'm kind of happy because I feel like I've kind of like now when I do these videos, I don't feel like I have to stop myself because I keep going. I feel like I'm saying what I need to say in a very succinct amount of time. But yeah, that's how I really do see creativity and being eternally youthful has to do with ADHD because ADHD minds are really creative and they need a lot of stimulation. So if we allow ourselves the time and don't feel guilty for not always trying to make money, make money, and we allow ourselves to play in an artistic field, in a creative field, the way we desire, or even just have our green time in nature, sit out in nature for 20 minutes or whatever, and stop thinking that these things are a waste of time. Start knowing that this is why you're actually put on earth, to be an example for others, to show the value in these things, then you can not only like you reverse the hands of time, you know what I mean? Like you're able to age slower. Um, Everything is in alignment with your body, so things are working better for you. Things in your environment seem to be more peaceful, and you just begin to realize like it's okay. Like I'm gonna be in Paris, I'm gonna be in Mexico, I'm gonna be like you're like whatever. I know that my gifts and talents are gonna take me to these places. I know that the love of my life is here and is waiting for me. Like, I know, like, I don't have to worry anymore. You know why? Because I'm singing, because I'm getting up and I'm standing up in front of people and I'm telling my story and I'm healing people with my voice. So I'm going to be rewarded because I'm fulfilling my purpose. And that's it. So, what I want you to do is subscribe so that you can stay abreast of all the videos that I do. And remember, ADHD, always dreaming happy dreams. You are a happy dreamer. You're not just a label, you're not just a diagnosis, you're definitely not a disorder. Okay? So just know that about yourself. Like, one of my values in life is like I want to help everybody remember who they are. Like, you're amazing. Like, I need to tell you this. You're amazing. And you may have forgotten this. So you may be a total jerk right now. You may be an abuser who deserves to die because you've abused, countless people who are children. But I mean, and maybe you can never be redeemed from that. I mean, yes, I know that Jesus forgives and God forgives. And maybe it may take the next lifetime for you, but I'm talking to the people who want to find the good in themselves and want to find who they are and actually are light workers in this world. Okay? You are amazing and your gift matters. Okay, let's just say I'm not talking to everybody. And that's something I need to be clear on because there's some people who I'm like, you're just scum, and what the hell happens to scum? We pour some vinegar on it. We pour some, what do you call that, lime scale remover stuff on there, and we get rid of it. All right. But there's some good people out there who may have been misguided, who may have been misconditioned, and who may have been, you know, had a part of themselves that's abused, abandoned, or neglected. And there's an inner child that I am supposed to help you get in touch with simply by being an example and by living that, you know? So that's who I am. I guess I'm talking to artists. I guess I'm talking to some artists who maybe had to go back home and don't feel like they're successful anymore. They've forgotten all the things that they've done that's been good in the world. They've forgotten all the helping hands that they've lent. And I'm here to tell you that you are good. C'est bon. All right. All right. I've had enough. All right. I don't want to be on this thing anymore. So listen, subscribe, and thank you for watching.